PSP. Behind every statistic, there is a story. PSP is a late-onset neurodegenerative disease involving the gradual deterioration and death of specific areas of the brain. The condition leads to symptoms including loss of balance, slowing of movement, particularly the movement of the eyes, and also cognitive impairment. Eventually, the patient will lose the ability to swallow. The patient can easily choke on food or breathe food into the lungs. The loss of balance makes the patient more likely to fall, increasing the risk of suffering a serious injury to the head or fracture. PSP. Progressive means that the conditions and symptoms will keep worsening over time. Supranuclear refers to the region of the brain affected by the disorder. Palsy, a disorder that results in weakness of certain muscles. In layman's terms, ALS affects the spinal cord nerves to the muscles. PSP affects the brain areas that send the signal to the nerves. All these terms don't really characterize what happens to the individual and to their loved ones. What it really affects the most is time. Every 6 weeks, there was a change. That every 6 weeks meant a change in our lives. I wanted time to stand still. Paula, 1947 to 2022. As of right now, there is no cure for PSP. Making a diagnosis remains very difficult. There is no scan, no blood test, or any other definitive test, and it can take years to get the correct diagnosis. Paula's story is not more important than any other person who was stricken with this terrible disease. Paula's story is just that, her story, not just some statistic. PSP attacks victims from every race, creed, or status. Hollywood actors, successful people in business, both men and women, famous singers and musicians, are among its victims. The only common denominator seems to be age. Most patients are around the age of 60 and in their 7OS. Hopefully, in the future, by the middle of the 21st century, there will be an accurate way to diagnose and treat neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, ALS, and PSP. Hopefully, with research, there will be a way to prolong the quality of life for the patients and their loved ones. My heartfelt thanks to all the therapists who worked with Paula. They were all professional, thoughtful, and worked hard to prolong Paula's quality of life. The hospice team that helped Paula in her last moments were wonderful. They all were professional, caring, and empathetic. I can't thank you enough. Thank you again. Every 6 weeks kept coming. Every 6 weeks brought change. Then Paula was gone. Now, every 6 weeks, there is no change. Paula is gone. Everything stays the same, no change at all. The same every day, no change. Once, it was a race to keep things in place, please. No change. Trying to keep change at bay, please. No change. I wanted time to stand still. Even if she didn't get better, please don't let her get worse. It didn't work. Now she is gone. And now? Now, things never change. I do the same old things hoping things will change, but they don't. Oh, I keep busy. You ride a bike. You exercise, lifting lighter weights. I'm now too old to lift heavy. You do chores to keep you busy. I volunteer at the church and at the local food bank. It appears that you are busy, that you keep life active, but it doesn't. It's like running on a treadmill. You get tired, but as you stand up after putting your hands on your knees to catch your breath, you look around and find you haven't moved. Not an inch. I want to laugh, to have fun. Sometimes I do, but it's fleeting. The next day, the next hour, it's still the same. Like the clock on the wall, you know that time has moved on, but the clock still has the same old numbers. The second hand still clicks away, hesitating every second. Different day, different month, different sunrise, but still the clock has the same old numbers. Once I was a slave to those numbers. I woke up early, gobbled down some type of food, grabbed my coffee in my same old coffee cup, and rushed out the door. Never late for work, the numbers guided me to be on time. I was, then the numbers stopped. Now Paula is gone, and the second hand still keeps its hesitant journey. But things don't change. The hands point to the numbers, but I don't care. My world was once work. to feed my family, taking care of my family and watch them grow, and of course being with Paula. Later, when her illness progressed, being with Paula, taking care of her, squeezing every last ounce out of every day, trying to keep things as they were, to stop time. It didn't work. Now, everyone says to treasure those memories, but to move on, to see new places, to try new things. I want to, but then again, I don't care. Now I look back and things become brighter. The memories are bright, and a smile comes to my face. Am I just another person who has lost a loved one? Maybe. But the memories are fun, and they are bright. The dark room becomes illuminated. I want to tell the stories. I yearn to tell them. I know it sounds corny, but I want to smile, and when I tell the stories, Paula comes to life and I want her to stay with me. If only for a moment, if only for those hesitant seconds. This was Paula before the first signs appeared. Before the symptoms, the questions, and the diagnosis. Her story begins in Chapter 1. The beginning,